And I'm going to tell the people that are here that on the left-hand side, you tell a little bird, and that's my animated GIF. I have a high-priced graphic arts department, and send it out to your Twitter followers so they know where you're at. Post it to Facebook. And the other thing I want to mention to you is if you have a question, in the send a message box there, /Q, then a space, and then type your message, your question, and then it'll show up on the question box on the left. Makes it easier for the people in the seats to see your questions. And if you forget that, if you go down in the send a message and the slash bar on the left, on the right side, if you click on that, it brings up a little menu and it will explain just what I said. You just click on the /Q, type in your question, and it'll get out there. And now I am going to sit on the sidelines and I'm going to turn it over to Stan and Tony.
I'm just going to say a couple of things. Some of the guys, some of the people that are popping in here. Hey, Paul, and Ultimate Upcyclers is Dave that makes awesome stuff out of junk. It looks like he's been busy on Blab, because I remember when he first started coming to some of our Blabs, you know, didn't seem like it was that long ago, but it looks like he's been really busy. And of course, Candy is here. Who else is up here? William Slays. If y'all don't know him, you need to go follow him. And Daryl. Let me go look at Daryl Iverson. I'm going to be taking a look at his stuff in here just a minute. And Adjunga Nosen. Are you struggling to make money online? Do you want my free 14-day step-by-step training? Visit my website to get access to the video guided training. Welcome to you're welcome, William. Welcome to this Blab. And I am going to introduce Tony, and then I'm going to mute myself because we are at 10 o'clock, Tony, and we are recording now. So you ready, man?
I'm ready.
Take it away, Tony.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Circadians. And we're here today to talk about how to brand your Blab. And so I'm just going to tell you something about us. So the Circadians, what we do, we create event-driven outcomes, business building platforms, broadcast, website, content, training programs, and more. But mostly we operate in, and this is real important, a guru-free zone, getting stuff done. We welcome the opportunity to elaborate on that. Just ask for an invitation to our community, and today by emailing youmatter@thecircadians.com. And so who we are. The Circadians community isn't built around one individual. We live, work, and thrive in a guru-free zone. Everyone is equal. Everyone matters. And everyone has their own special gifts. The sum of those gifts being greater than any one individual. What we do? Well, we create event-driven outcome-orientated business building platforms, broadcast websites, content, training programs, and more. But mostly, we operate in a guru-free zone, getting stuff done. We welcome the opportunity to elaborate on that. Just ask for an invitation to the community. And I know I said that twice, but you have to forgive me.
It was good enough to say twice, though, Tony. It was okay. Yeah, nobody's going to reduce your pay or anything like that.
Well, we commit to deliver your message in your life. You're being given. We inspire others to action and inspired by it. Respect everything for the value that it is. Communicate clearly. If asked, answer, and answering to be clear. Accept responsibility for your life without being selfish. Deliver on your promise and make no excuses for failure. Integrity before pride. Appreciate the now. Everything is as it should be. Never, and I mean never, accept mediocrity as a benchmark. Smiles open doors. Minds, hearts, give them freely.
He just read from the Circadian Way. That is what he read. That's kind of like our manifesto. That was good. That was good. You like the integrity thing, huh? And the mediocrity thing. Yep.
Yes,
You're
I
actually
do.
lagging just a little bit. Is anybody else getting that from him, or is it just me? Nikki, is he lagging when you see him?
Yeah, he is. It's a little bit of lag with the audio versus what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. That was great. You want to know, you want to tell them about the rules of Blab, or you want me to tell them?
Sure, I can tell them about the rules of Blab, Stan. No problem.
Okay. I will just listen up.
Okay. Let's get started with the rules of Blab. Okay. Blab doesn't really have rules, but Blab team has created some agreements or guidelines that we would like the community to go by. So please pay attention. Number 1, respect each other. Number 2, honor the viewer's time. Number 3, let others talk. Number 4, don't be awful person to be around. And number 5, argue the point, not the person. Number 6, the host sets the rules to the party, unless they conflict with these rules. So with that, thank you, Stan, for allowing me to do this introduction.
I appreciate you taking that load off me, man. That was the only thing, the thing that one of the reasons why we do that is because I have a problem with number 3, letting others talk, right? You dress him up, but you can't take him nowhere. We want to appreciate everybody that's here. Thanks for being here, Nikki. What we're going to do is that we have 4 blabs a week. They are how to use Blab. They're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is casual Blab, where we don't wear the ties. And that's how you can tell when we're casual. But the Monday is how to use, Tuesday is how to host, Wednesday is how to embed, and today is how to brand your Blab. And this month we have a lot of co-hosts that are coming in. It's going to give you a different viewpoint of how to brand, like what we're going to do, or how to do the different things that we're going to talk about. Nikki is going to have a completely different viewpoint about branding than we do, because what we're going to talk about is really not branding. I mean, what we're going to talk about the way that we do, because I'm not a branding expert. What I'm going to show you is how, when you get a person like Nikki who creates the branding materials, how you can use a tool called Canva to very easily convert those to some things that you might need immediately, right? I mean, they might create the logo for you. They might give it to you in a JPEG or a GIF or a PNG or whatever that format is, and then you'd be able to use it with Canva very, very easily. Now, there was one other thing that, where did she go? I didn't give her a chance to talk, so she left, I guess. She probably just dropped out. She'll be back in a minute. But when she gets back,
I'm sure she's refreshing.
Did she come back up yet? When she gets in, we need to make her a co-host immediately.
Okay.
But in the meanwhile, there she is.
I have no idea what just happened.
That was awesome.
Sorry.
She is, this is Nikki. I'm going to introduce her, and I'm going to tell you that she is a Kobayashi Maru champion. You want to explain that and tell a little bit about yourself before we get into the thing?
Before I explain it, do you know what it means?
Yeah, wasn't that the test that was on Star Trek, right?
Yes, I'm a Trekkie. Yeah. I'm a Trekkie. I wrote that a while ago. When you said it yesterday, I was like, oh, maybe I need to change it. But no, I like it.
Mm.
So
I
Kobayashi Maru.
recognized it.
So Kobayashi Maru, for those of you who don't know, is the test that they give Starfleet cadets to basically decide when they're going to be able to go out into the final frontier. And the test is a trick because you can't win. So it really tests you to see how well you do under pressure. And Captain Kirk is the only one who passed it because he rigged it, because Captain Kirk, amazing.
Yes.
And so I put in my Twitter bio that I am a 6-time Kobayashi Maru champion. But let me tell you guys a little bit about what I do. I'm the founder of Lighter Creative, and we do web design, graphic design, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and business development. We are a Philadelphia-based firm. I'm in our offices. As you see, people mostly get here between 10 and 10:30. So I'm sitting by the door. Unfortunately, there is a huge window on the other end, and it like completely washes me out. So you're going to be seeing people walk in this door any minute. So that's what I do.
Well, as long as they're okay with it, we are.
Oh, and then the other thing you told me that I have to acknowledge is that for those of you who know Eileen, Miss Eileen, I'm her daughter.
She is Miss Eileen's daughter. That's right. And there's a lot of people here that know that. As a matter of fact, somebody said this morning that my guest today had Miss Eileen's eyes. I won't tell you who that is, but they have already given you plenty of props today.
Oh, did they know that I was her daughter, or was it just a coincidence? Oh, okay.
No, they knew. And like I said, they've already given you plenty of props today. And so that's your hint of being able to figure it out. Guys. Yeah, they said that you have her eyes. But the Kobayashi Maru thing was one of the first things I noticed about you. I went, oh, that's cool, because that's one of those things that you do where if nobody knows it, they think,
like,
wow,
oh, she's done something.
Yeah, that's like a martial art or something, right? Yeah,
right.
But it actually means that you cheated. But anyway, no, he didn't. He described it changing the rules or changing to something like that. He put it to a way that he could win. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we do this. If you'll go to, I'm going to put the link down here on Canva, and you can click on this link, and it's not going to, you're going to open up in another window or another tab. You're not going to leave this. You'll be able to listen to what we talk about here without having to close anything out. And when we come back to this, when we get time to come back to this tab, we'll talk about, your view of how this works. And it's really quick. So if you'll click on that link, you're going to go to canva.com/stanbush, and you'll see that the very first one up there is a thing called, you'll see like, how many files are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different file sets. Okay. Each one of these sets, if you want to click on the little heart though and give me some love, I'm not objecting to it.
I got you.
Yeah. The first one is streaming video Twitter. And if you open that one up, if you click on that to open it up, you're going to see that there's 5 numbers across the bottom. The very first one is how to use Blab. If you click on the arrow, you'll go to how to host a Blab, which is the image that we use for hosting. Number 3 is how to embed a Blab.
It made me log in and do a whole bunch of stuff, so it took me away. I couldn't walk through. So click on. I had to pull that page back up again. Click on which one? The first one?
Yeah, the first one will work.
Okay.
Made you log in?
It made me log in. I had to sign in with Facebook, and because I went to go give a heart, and it said you can't do it without signing in. Ah,
that's probably what it is. In order to be able to do that, that's probably true. I'm so sorry.
So it's no biggie.
So the first one is how to use Blab, and then on the second one down there is how to host a Blab, and that's the image that we use for it. The only branding that we really have, because we've not done anything on logos and things like that. We've just decided on the font that we're going to use and the weight of that stuff. So you'll see that the circadians, that's kind of the only thing we use for real true branding. But what we try to do is make it easily recognizable across all the networks. On number 3, you'll see how to embed a Blab. Number 4 is brand. Oh, look at that, the spelling. Branded your blab across multiple networks. That's probably, some people are trying to figure out what branded means. Number 5 is Casual Friday. And so that's the extent of those images. If you want to close that down and you go to the next one, which is streaming video YouTube, you'll be able to open that up and you can look at these images are exactly the same. You can just cycle through them and you'll see that they are the same, with the exception of number 6, which has to do with the co-host program. And the only reason that one is there is because we don't really push that anywhere other than here. The first one is for Twitter. The second one is the exact size for streaming video. The third one, when you click or YouTube, the third one is used for Blab cover dimensions, which is 1,000 by 450. And on that set, you can cycle through those and you can see that they're all exactly the same as the other 2 file sets that you looked at. And now you can go back to the Blab. You can close this down or leave it open and kind of look at those images if you want to. But if you want to close that down, I'm going to tell you how this works. I'm just going to do it from memory because I do it a lot. The reason that we use Canva is because with Canva, you can create. I have the paid version of Canva, which I think is $12.95 a month. And if you will go tell them that I sent you there, then they will have no idea who I am. So I have no affiliation with them. Well, I know Guy and those guys. I know them, but I don't get any coffee or anything like that out of it. But if you go there and you sign up for the paid version, which I think is $12.95 a month, what you do is you create an image in a size. Like you can, when you choose, do you use Canva, Nikki? Have you messed with Canva at all?
I'm familiar with it. My mom put me onto it, and I've probably played around with it a couple of times, but we don't use it. I do recommend for my clients that can't commit to getting regular graphic design work with us to use it, because I know it's super user friendly.
Mm-hmm. The way we do is we created a set, right? And that set is for the 5 days. And I created one set for how to use, how to host, how to embed, hey, Eileen, how to brand, and then the Casual Friday. And then Canva has this thing called, how can we say no to her? Is that the next, that's a no-brainer.
Guess who's in here? I'm going to tell everybody now. Guess who found their way to my Blab? Yes. Yes, Eileen. I'm telling the team here.
This is social media nirvana.
Why is she so low? How come you're low, Mom?
My daughter's on Blab. Oh, wait.
Mom, you're low.
Sorry.
Give her a couple of lessons on Blab there.
Right?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
No, it's super low still.
Oh, wow. Let me see. How about if I turn my volume up? Is that better? Let me go out and come back.
Take the earpiece out.
So, take the earpiece out? Yeah, if you disconnect and connect it, sometimes that does actually work. Okay. But once you create those 5 sets, there's a magic resize. And when you hit magic resize, there's a selection that comes up and says, I want to make these images in the size of Instagram. I want to make these images in the size of Twitter. And so you can, once you select those and say resize, it creates all 5 of those images in the right size for those particular networks. So you don't have to figure out whether or not, you don't have to figure out what the size you're going to make for, say, a Google post or a Twitter post or an Instagram or Pinterest or any of those. It automatically resizes them to the right thing. And so that is why we use Canva, but we make no claim that that's actually branding. So now that we've talked about that, you create a set and then you resize it. You just tell it the magic resize and it creates them whatever. Now they do have, if you don't have the paid version, you can still tell it to resize it, but there's no way to do that I know of the magic resize. And there's a big difference between magic and resize, right? Because it actually tries to make everything fit in there correct. You still got to go in there and manipulate it sometimes, but so tell me what you think about that process. And if you were doing our stuff, how you would be able to help us knowing that that's what we do.
So I think it's a really great process for you guys. What I would probably start with is create a branding board for you. We always have this conversation about logos. I like text logos. So it's good that you have your text. Maybe we would probably throw out some options with a little bit of design, but your text is great. Maybe also add a accent text that you use for accent text, like your subtitles or even your actual titles of the events, so that they're both not basic fonts. So like, for instance, you have your fonts that you have, it looks like you have 3 fonts. So I'm looking at one of the ones, the Casual Fridays, right? So there's Circadians, that's one font, which is a sans font. And then the Casual Fridays, that's another font that's also a sans font. And then the Chillaxing Circadians, that's a sans font as well. So there's 3 different fonts. And then Streaming Video Clinic, that's a different font. So that's 4. What I would do is maybe pick 2 or 3 fonts that you always use and make one of them either a funky font or another one of a not a sans font, something with a little bit more formality to it. But we could play around with it, but I wouldn't do 3 basic sans fonts. I would get something that's a little bit funkier.
That's interesting, because you're exactly right. All of those are Railway. That's what that font is. All of them are either Railway. Weights. Yep, it's just different weights, and in different, and some are all uppercase. And the way that the way we use that is that when we are creating, seats should be open. I don't know.
She's there, but the camera's not showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push her out, and then she can come back in. Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, the seat is open, but so I use a Railway, right? But I change that color of that font depending on. I see you shaking your head, but if you actually look at the images, the way that they are created, the Circadians is always. It's actually part of. I kind of took that concept from what's his name, John. He was the show. No, who?
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead.
It's not the Today Show. It was the something show. John. Everybody knew this guy. I knows who he is. It's the something show. Not the Today Show. I can't think of the name of it. But that's what they did. They have like this font, but they'll change that color of the text depending sometimes on what the depending on what the color of the rest of the stuff is. It actually comes out, in my opinion, I think it comes out looking pretty good. Hey, I was just beginning to think that somebody might. I was beginning to think somebody might have heard that other blab this morning.
You know what it was? I tried to come in with the beta app the first time, and then the beta app was still open. So guys, there's always glitches, but that was human error. I should have closed the beta app out completely. But anyway, I'm just happy. Like I said, I'm in social media nirvana. My baby is here. Everybody who's in the room, who ever heard me talk, has heard me talk about you, Nikki. So live up to that reputation. Okay, boo? No, I'm just kidding. You're doing a fantastic job. I love the critiques you gave about the fonts. That was positive criticism, which I'm sure Stan and the Circadians all appreciate it.
Yes, we do. I mean, because we don't like this really is our graphics department, right? This is our total budget. That's our total budget on graphics department. So so we appreciate anything that we hear. And yes, it was John Stewart, Digital Networker. It was John Stewart. They have like a font thing, and you'll see them every now and then change that color. It's not they do it all the time, but I've seen them where they'll have that somewhere. And I'm like,
so you have a different color for every day of the week?
No. What I do is I pick out a color. Like V and Circadians are always a different color. They're never the same color. And I pick out.
Can someone please tweet this before I go so I can get on camera with my daughter? Because I can't do it from my phone. I need a gift, so don't work.
Okay.
You know.
We know that because the glasses are off.
Right? So it's time to strike a pose. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to go back to work now. Ron did. Thanks, Ron.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going back to. I'll be listening, but I can't.
Bye. I'm hanging up on you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
So the two colors are always different, right? And or the and circadians are always different. But I pick out a color that's in the image that looks good with the other color of the picture that's in the image, because they're always the same. I'm like the most uncreative creative ever, right? I'm like, well, I can make the colors match, but I'm not like the person to make all the other things work. But I've always thought they've looked pretty good, and nobody's ever said they look horrible.
They look good. But you asked me what I would do. I think they look good. They do look good. Even the slide deck that you send out with the purple and the orange, I like it. But I would just give you a branding board with some rules. I wouldn't do the different color to pick up on whatever is in the image. I would be very, very, very consistent with your color. So you have two versions of your logo, a white and a black That's great. But then I see one with a drop shadow behind it. I would stick to the same logo. Only companies that can switch up their logos are the companies that they have complete brand recognition, like the Nike and the Coca-Cola. They got like 5 and 6 different versions of their logo. I always try to tell it to our clients, and they're like, I want to use this version, that version. You know, you should definitely have different versions to accommodate the size wherever you're going to use something. So like maybe if you have an emblem, you put the emblem up top or whatever. But in terms of changing up major elements, like putting the drop shadow, I would never use that, or make the drop shadow be something that you use across the board. But the black and the white for sure, because sometimes you're going to have, you may put something on a white background, you need the black something on a black background, you need the white But then I will also come up with a formula pick maybe 2 other fonts that go with your font. Maybe a really fun font, a scripted font, or something that's like graffiti or something that goes with the railway, and then a serif font that is just like subtitles or whatever, and then figure out what that formula is and always follow that formula. And as far as if you want to get another color, use another color that accents that orange. Purple, I would just stick with the same colorway. I wouldn't use too many different colorways.
Do you know how we came up with the purple and the orange and all that stuff?
Well, purple and orange complement each other, so that's good. Sometimes people pick random colors, and it's like they don't really complement each other. But purple and orange complement each other very, very well. So that was a good choice. But yes, go ahead. I want to hear.
We use tangerine and like yellow because those are the 2 happiest colors in the world. That's the 2 happiest colors that are associated with happy. And then we used purple because of Blab, because over on our other stuff, there is no purple, just so you know. On our everything that's just happens to do with us, there's not any purple. But over here, we use purple. And I will tell you that Nina, when I first did it, said, no, don't do that. And I'm like, okay, listen to this. You heard that, right? So, I'm like hard-headed. So anyway, that was, that's really good. I had picked out those 2, that one font because of the consistency thing, but yet that really helps. That advice really helps. In moving forward with maybe doing some other things. And does everybody else still have Eileen in this Blab, or is it just me?
I see.
No, she's still in the room.
We X her out.
I tried Xing her out, but she's like, okay, now I just put Nina's question up there. We're trying to open the seat. Now when we close that, It still looks like it's the ghost of Eileen present or something. I'm not quite sure. It says that she's on, but
blank for me now.
It's what?
It's blank for me now, though.
But it doesn't show that it's open or anything. So I am going to Blab. Yeah, Blabs. That's why they got the big beta thing up there. Purple, commonly associated with royalty, wisdom, and respect, simulates problem solving as well as creativity. Orange can trigger a sense of caution, used to create a sense of anxiety that can draw in impulsive buyers and window shoppers. I didn't know that about orange. I knew that about purple, but I didn't know the sense of caution. The orange was like, I looked up the 2 happiest colors in the world. That's how we came up with them. And it was orange and tangerine, or yellow and tangerine.
Orange usually also, the other thing about orange, it's good for food. It induces hunger. But I don't know, I mean, there's rules, but then sometimes there's not always a way around it.
So the next time that I get hungry while I'm watching our stuff, I'm going to blame it on our logo. That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to check out here so that Nina and Ron can come in and Michelle can tell you. So I'm going to get out, because there's something with this seat happening. I'm not quite sure what it is. So it looks like we got 3 seats. So I'm going to check out for a minute. I'm going to make you, yeah, she's already a host. But I'll be in the wings, and what you're fixing to find out is who has their finger on that little trigger the fastest. Because as soon as I leave here, somebody's coming in.
There you go. Okay.
It's like the game of Jeopardy. We got to beat each other out to get in here.
Hey, Nina.
Yeah, nice to meet
Nina got in too. I'm Ron Schneeberger. Yes, I'm a Circadian, and I'm retired, but I'm not retired because I do engraving. I custom engrave calligraphy onto glass, metal, and I do some things in wood. I don't know if it's going to show up or not, but we'll give it a try. If you can see the engraving on the wine bottle, that's what I do. So, but the biggest part of what I do is I'm being a circadian, where every morning we have a clinic and we go over things and we learn things and we apply them in our lives. And we do the Blab every day at 10. And this month, if you're not following us this month, you're going to miss out, because we have people like Nikki and Nazim and Chef Dennis coming in, and we got a really good program for the month of November and following. And now I'm going to turn it over to Nina, because she's a big part of what's going on, and she tracks numbers and helps us in other ways with Google collections, and she can tell us what she does. Come out here, guys. Bye.
Hi, my name is Nina. I'm very glad to meet you, Nikki. What I do is listen to my daughter, because I have a daughter, Anna. She's at the age of 28, so I say the only thing I do is listen to my daughter. That you can now explain all my position, because I understand how much I love my daughter and how much Elaine loves you. Very nice to meet you. I'm here over the ocean. It's happy hour. I'd say so, because the end of the day. And I'm living in Google Plus. That's my place. I have businesses come in, establish their profile. I'm working for Google, my business pages, brand pages. That's what I do. And when it comes to illustration and branding, I'm asking young people. I'm working with a fashion illustration expert, and because I don't understand it. That's why. So nice to meet you, and I hope we meet again. See you.
Yes, for sure.
Michelle, we can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, that should be better. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle.
All right. How you doing? Mama talks about you a lot. I know a lot about you. You're doing great. And I am a circadian, and I am a dementia support and awareness advocate, as my mother has the disease for the past 18 years now. She just turned 75. I help administer a Facebook group that has 13,000 members that was started by a patient. There's not much I can do for mom anymore except visit her because she's in the late stages of the disease. But I want to help people because I've been on this journey, and I've been doing that with memory people for a long time now. So you had mentioned something about a branding board and logos, and I'd like to hear a little more about that.
Well, I'm giving you a whole bunch of props, even though I'm not doing it. but I'm getting off my customers somewhere else.
That's right. Ron will be jealous that I got all these props today.
Just going berserk. But a branding board is essentially a document that we create that it gives a description of the colors with their hex values, the fonts, and any pictorial elements. So like you may see, like if we know that we're going to use some bubbles or any elements that we're going to use as a recurring design theme, it'll have it there so that everybody knows exactly what the formula is. Anything that like this has to look this way, so that if one design team person is out, another design person knows exactly what to do, and we all know that it comes from the same exact place. So it sets rules, and just in case you decide you want to get super, super creative, you're not sitting there and you're just like, I don't know what to do. But at least you have this branding board that really kind of guides you.
Great. That's good information and very, very helpful because we do everything as a team in the Circadians. So that's very useful information. So thank you. And one more question quickly, logos. What do you suggest, programs or how to design a logo? Some information on that?
How to design a logo. So programs, we use Photoshop, Illustrator, all of those programs. But before, actually, we were just talking about this yesterday, because when I first started as a freelancer myself, this is before Photoshop came out with the cloud and they have like these $10 a month. Photoshop was $800. There was no way around it. It was $800. And so because I didn't have a lot of money, I had limited resources, I learned using GIMP. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but GIMP is a free program that works like Photoshop, but it's not Photoshop. The critique that most people have of it is that it's very, very complicated. It's not complicated to me because I only know how to use GIMP. But then when we started hiring other designers, everybody knows the whole Adobe suite. Me, I don't. I know because I have such a good understanding of how GIMP works, and Photoshop works very similar. So I can explain what needs to be done, and I do know how to manipulate things. But I personally don't even use it. So if a client needs something created on the fly, I create it in GIMP and send it over. But when we do logos and all that good stuff, everybody in the team uses Adobe. And if someone's out and I need to edit something, I can do it, but I can't do anything from scratch. So in terms of programs, it's really whatever it is that you're comfortable with. But you have to be very mindful. If you create something using GIMP or even Photoshop or even Canva that's permanent, you may want to figure out how you can get it done by a designer. Because what if the Circadian blows up and you stand aside, like, I'm going to get a billboard on the 405 in LA. That file is not going to be high res enough to be able to do that. You're going to need an Illustrator file or a vector file. So you always want to be sure that you can, at least get it done by a designer, or your logo is so simple that it can be recreated just like that in Illustrator. So it's not that big of a deal. But when you're doing stuff that is going to be permanent, if you have like a really, really image heavy logo, something that's got a whole bunch of stuff going on it, you want to make sure you have that Illustrator file. But I was explaining to Stan that you guys have text logos. I love text logos. That's just all text. So I don't have a problem with the Circadians logo at all. So, that's something that you can always decide to do. Just say, hey, I like this font. I'm going to make this font be my font. Just know that when you use a font logos, all text logos, that your font has to evoke the emotion that you want it to evoke, whatever your brand is. Not just a font that you like. Like, okay, I like this font that looks scripty, but I have a business development business. Like, you like that font, but is a script font going to instill trust? No, right? So you want to make sure that it aligns with whatever emotion you want to evoke.
I actually did a graphic, and it was in black and white, and it was dark purple for the Alzheimer's color. And Stan asked me, "Did you do that on purpose to use a dark colors because it's a dark subject?" And my answer was yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Couple of things.
By the way, hold on, cut you off. Michelle, you see how many props I'm giving? I think it's going for sure.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah. Now, Ron's
going to be really upset.
Yeah. Ron's going to be asking how come, he's going to want to transfer those over. But Eileen came in and put the link to the branding board, which is excellent. There was a question about a PSD, okay, for a designer format, but I had a question first. Do you guys use PMAs or do y'all use Hex?
We use Hex.
Hex. Okay. And then PSD for a designer format, do you prefer that or do you prefer vectors and PNGs or what?
It depends on what it's for. Like I said, for logos, you definitely need a vector file. But for, like, if we're doing a branding board, I mean, you're going to design it in Photoshop. You can design it. You can create it in anything. But the file that gets transferred around here is probably like just a regular PDF or a PNG, because it's just a guide, right? That's all it is. It's not something that's going to be published. It's just a guide. So if someone creates it and they print it out for me, that's fine. Like, okay, I have it here. Whatever I'm creating, I'm using all the information there to create whatever it is that I create. But you can, I mean, honestly, if you want, you can create it in Word. If you're like, hey, I don't feel like learning any of these programs, but I do want to have some rules. So I'm going to create this in Word. I'll say, this is the color. The color is pound, whatever the hex value is. And then, like, okay, I like this design element. This background is a background that I'm going to use. It's like, I gave the example of bubbles. I like these bubbles. You could take that, import that image, boom, put it right there. This is the font. The font is called this, whatever. And then boom, it doesn't have to fit a specific criteria. It just has to be something that you can refer and use to refer to whenever you're creating something else, right? And it's just an internal document. If you want, you can write it on a piece of paper. Write whatever information you need on a piece of paper. It's just something internal.
Yeah, it's actually on our documents, on our planners and stuff like that. That says branding. We just call it branding information. There's a section down there that says, here's the colors, here's the fonts, and here's that sort of thing. But it's about a unique gift. You can never learn it, right? I don't know what that was about.
I'm going to pop out in case anybody else wants to jump in. But thank you very much, Nikki. I appreciate your feedback very much.
Michelle, thanks for everything you do. And Tony, you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Oh, my name is Tony Mobley. I have been a type 2 diabetic for over 17 years. And I am now 96 days without diabetic medication. I was taking 3 different medications. And I'm off my meds, and I'm losing weight.
Congratulations!
Thank you. And I'm getting to good health. And I've had this wonderful opportunity to become part of the circadians. And so now I'm a circadian, and I'm learning new things, and I'm getting to good health. And so it's just great to be here. And it's so wonderful to meet you, Nikki. And like everybody else, I had a conversation with your mom last night about you.
That's what you said, you guys were just talking about me.
And so it's just great to be here with you. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to share this Blab with you. So thank you. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, circadians, for allowing me to be a part of you. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It's every day is a really good day with you, man. Every day. That's true.
Well,
And I am going to ask anybody else that's going to come in, and then Tony, I'm going to actually get out and let you do the closing, close up and everything like today when you get ready to go. Because once you get started, and there's so many questions. I could spend all day here talking with Nikki. As a matter of fact, when we first talked about this, we did, didn't we? We were like, I need 15 minutes. About an hour and a half later, we're going, oh yeah, well anyway, the Jets. I hope the New York. He's like, we were talking about all sorts of. And I know it's not my fault because I don't talk.
Oh,
very
really?
Peace, love, and understanding to everybody. I'm out of here, and thank you very much, Nikki. Thank you. This great information.
Thank you.
Okay, and so we're going to ask if there is anybody else that wants to come in before we end this blab. Art Jones, okay. Hello, Art Jones. We can't see you or hear you, Art.
Let me.
So William, PSD okay for designer format? Yes.
Okay, there's Art. Hello, Art Jones.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's still relatively early here in Tucson, Arizona, but I think my sound and I'm trying a new laptop out, and it's a Chromebook, and Chromebook's not really performing as well as I'd like for it to be. So if you can't hear me, just let me know, and I'll pop out and let somebody else in.
We hear you fine.
But Tony, I wanted to say congrats on what you've accomplished with 60 Days Without Meds. Oh my gosh, man, that's amazing. And I really
I can correct you. It's 96 days without meds.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, that's
days. You
that's a big round of applause
away from me, man.
Hey man, a big round of applause for that. I really applaud anybody that can get off the pharmaceutical gravy train, right? And so instead of making them richer, make yourself healthier. And so God bless and Godspeed on that journey. And to Nikki Purvey, I just have to tell you that your mom is Eileen. Oh my goodness. Are you the luckiest girl on the planet? Because your mom is the bomb.
I'm so blessed.
Your mom is the bomb. So I just came on to say that I wanted to meet Nikki and say hi in person and to congratulate you, Tony. And I'm going to go ahead and finish getting my morning started. But I took this opportunity to congratulate you, Tony, for being on a roll. And Nikki, you've got a lifetime of greatness because that's just following your mom's footsteps.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Art.
Bye, Art.
Appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Okay. Nick, we know Nikki's time is valuable, and so we wanted to encourage anyone else that wants to come in before we end the blab to please come in. Okay. Roxanne, a circadian. Hello, Roxanne.
Hello. Yes.
How are you?
Great for you. I'm fine. Great for you without that medicine because something happened to me. Not very good. The doc ordered the wrong medicine for me. Yes. Oh. And thank goodness, I fight having epilepsy for brand name instead of generic medicine because me knowing the difference in the size of the pill for brand name, you're able to tell they gave you the wrong dosage. But with generic medicine, you never know because they're always different colors and different sizes. So being with the circadians now, I am going to do more with these blabs because people need to know that. It's just ridiculous. So, of course, I called the doc. I told him, the nurse what he did. And it's just, the dosages are so different and the generic brands are so different with epilepsy. I have the longest story. I can't tell on here because I don't have enough time. But you're going to hear it because I'm going to start having blabs and tell you about all the difference in those meds and what you got to look at. It's just, I had to call and let him know he better not do it again.
Okay.
So definitely good for you, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We have to get together and have one of our own. All righty.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in.
Let me just tweet this out before you go. Yeah, I just want to create the GIF. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Mom, do you want to come back in before we end the blab? I just want to give you an opportunity to come back in. Oh, Chef Dennis is coming in.
Hi there.
Hello, Chef
I wanted
Dennis.
to say hi to Nikki real quick, too. I've known your mom since Google+, and I didn't know at first that you were her daughter, but I can see the resemblance. You're both beautiful. So
thank you.
It's
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Same here.
So I have fun on Blab cooking. If you don't know, if you ever want some ideas for food, I do a show on Wednesdays, and I actually have now 2 vegans that surround me on either side that I do shows with. So we have a vegan in the beginning. Are you a vegan? Mm-hmm. Well, I have a vegan on at 11:05, Renee Baldi, and she does stuff, and then I come on. I'm the carnivore, and then at 1:15 I have a vegan pastry chef who comes on and does stuff. So. Yes, she's very. Yesterday, she made 2 cookie dough dips for the Super Bowl. They were just, it's a lot of it's raw. She does do some baking, but a lot of it's raw, so it's really easy to make and just.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes. OMG.
Chef, thank you for coming on. We got a lot to do, and we know you're going to be part of our program and presenting in the month of February. Nikki, thank you for coming on. We do have to end this because we deliver on a promise, but it was such a good show we left it run a little bit longer. Tony, thank you for stepping up to the plate. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and you can catch us tomorrow and every day at 10 a.m. We have a show here, and you can catch Chef on Wednesdays. And then there might be some other days when he does something special, but follow the chef and Nikki, I'm sure you have some followers because the information was fantastic. Tony, we'll see you if not later today, tomorrow. Have a good time, everybody. I am going to
nice meeting you,
boot
Nikki.
everybody out of here. It's nice. It's not the
Bye,
nice
Chef.
way to say it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tony, we'll see you. Bye.
All right, take care.
And folks, we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm going to stop the recording.